traveled long, we traveled far to be right here where we are. Reach out a hand, no need to fear, 'cause all we need is right here. All we need, all we need.
Gorgeous.
All we need is right here. All we need, all we need, all we need is right here. The night was dark, but the day is bright. Together we can lift our eyes to all we love and we hold dear, 'cause all we need is right here. All we need, all we need, all we need is right here. All we need, all we need, all we need is right here. All we need, all we need, all we need is right here.
Thresholds. We cross them every day, from room to room, from outside to inside, and back again. From here to there, from anywhere to everywhere, from age to age, each threshold offers an opportunity for change, for renewal, for transformation, from what we were and what we are to what we can become. In this hour and this place, we cross a threshold from our day-to-day everydayness into space and time attuned to the other, to the sacred, to the holy, into an awareness of new life pregnant with possibilities. How will we be renewed in this moment? How will we be changed by this hour? How will we be transformed through this gathering of beloved community? Come, you longing, thirsty souls. Come, let us worship together. Arian Goth.
Good morning, afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Boulder Valley Unitarian Universalist Fellowship Zoom service. We are so glad that you found us, and I wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. I am Jessica Lakeman, Director of Lifespan Faith Formation, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to this special worship service this afternoon, which was fully designed by our 3 graduating, or as we UUs like to call them, bridging youth. They are Talia Ferrante-Roseberry, Alaric Hobel, and Morgan Sherwood. They will be leading much of this service along with our other fabulous youth, Monet Meisman and Petra Mensch. We are also joined today by our minister, the Reverend Lydia Ferrante-Roseberry, Tad Koryath, Emily Jaworski, and Deborah Mensch providing music. And our vital tech ushers today are Dawn Price, Bill Beachley, and Herb Axe. Today, I invite our bridging youth to share our welcome words.
You are all welcome here today. In all the beauty of languages, cultures, skin tones, shapes, and sizes that come together in your uniqueness, you are welcome here. In all the ways you experience and express gender, you are welcome here. In the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here.
In all the ways you make your living and the places you are from, you are welcome here. Muslim, pagan, humanist, Jew, Buddhist, mystic, Christian, Unitarian, Universalist. With all of the traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here today.
Whether you are a first-time visitor or a long-time member, you are welcome here. Whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears, you are welcome here. You're invited to join us with an open mind, loving heart, and willing hands. We welcome you today.
I also wish to welcome visitors and newcomers today. We are glad that you found us and hope that even in this virtual community, you can experience the warmth and love of this congregation. Each Sunday is different here, so please come back a few times to really get to know us. If you are new to us and you want to stay connected, please see the chat window for the link to our first-time visitors page, or you may email your information to our office manager, Carol, at officemanager@bvuuf.org. Her email address will also be in the chat window as well. Do also be sure to check out the fellowship calendar and Connections Weekly for all of the opportunities we continue to have to stay connected. If this is one of your first visits and you would like to briefly introduce yourself, I invite you to use the raise hand control in the participants window to show us that you would like to speak. Herb Axe, one of our tech ushers, will call on you and he will unmute your microphone. You're welcome to tell us your name and the town where you live so we might better get to know you. Of course, the self-introduction is completely optional.
Jessica, I'm not seeing any hands so far.
All right. Well, we welcome you all and thank you so much for joining us this morning. Afternoon. It's afternoon. We do have a couple of announcements. When we first started this grand adventure of Zoom services, we thought we'd be doing it for a few weeks, so we didn't change the time of our service. Alas, we now know it will be much longer than that. So we are going to go back to our 10 a.m. summer service time in 2 weeks on Sunday, May 24th. And I think we actually do have a couple of visitors who'd like to introduce themselves. So I'm going to pause for a moment. Herb, it looks like we've got
Yeah, we did
Janet.
have a couple show up late. Janet, do you have someone? Just a moment. Okay, Janet.
I would like to welcome my father and mother-in-law, Wade and Virginia Sherwood, who are joining us from Oakland, California today. They are on the call, but I'm not sure that they know how to raise their hand, so I'm doing this for them. They're glad to be here to honor Morgan.
All right.
Thank you, Janet.
There was another hand that was up earlier.
I think it maybe was Bridget.
Oh, here's one. Francie, go ahead. Just a moment. Okay.
Hi, this is Francie Liefert. I'm a big fan of Talia Ferrante Roseberries. I live in Loveland, Colorado.
We've known Talia since she was the day she was born.
That's so wonderful. Thank you for joining us.
And Bridget, go ahead, please.
Hello. My name is Bridget Jeffrey Fearing, and I'm joining you from the Canadian Rockies in Alberta, Canada. And I actually was a member of the fellowship for a long time when it was based in Boulder. And I've just reconnected today for the first time, and I'm hoping to see some folks who might have been there back when I was there, if anyone still remembers me. I was on the board for a long time. Anyway, it's lovely to be back, and thank you for being so welcoming to everyone. I'm looking forward to being part of it today.
Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you, Bridget. Welcome back.
And we've got a couple of others that have popped up. Daniel, go ahead.
Hi, we're Talia's aunt and uncle, Lydia's brother, and we're happy to be here to support her. And I think we've known her since she was born too. So it's nice to be with you all.
Thanks. And Jim Nelson, go ahead, please.
This is Jim Nelson. I'm calling in from Tucson. I am the husband of Mary and the father of Wendy, both of whom are members at this point. I have been lurking for several weeks. Really have been enjoying the services. I will, I'm sure, be joining at some juncture in the future. And I wanted to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks.
And Herb, I think maybe we've got Patricia.
I don't see any hands raised.
Well, I'll go ahead and unmute her. I got a message.
Okay.
Patricia, go ahead.
Well, the reason why I'm reintroducing myself to you, I'm Patricia Rose, and it's Mother's Day, and Jessica Lakeman is my darling, wonderful, magnificent daughter. So I come to visit you on occasion, you know, when I come up to Longmont. Of course, I haven't done that since January, but it's so good to see everyone's faces, and I'm just so proud of my daughter. So thank you.
Thank you. See, you see why I had to unmute her. I can't ignore her.
And I'm wearing her, you know, her Mother's Day gift, so.
All right. I think, unless we've got anybody else.
Oh, there's one other.
Oh.
Kristen, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kristen Forrest, and I'm here as a family friend to Alaric Hobel. And I have known him since he was a baby, and I'm just so proud of him and getting to celebrate this new threshold with him. Congratulations to all the seniors.
Thank you. I love how many visitors we have. This is wonderful. Thank you all for coming to support our Bridgers and be with us this afternoon. All right, last call. Okay. So I'm going to recap because that announcement feels like it was a really long time ago, and it's an important one, that on Sunday, May 24th, we are going back to our summer service time at 10 a.m. So you will find us at 10 a.m. in 2 weeks on Sunday, May 24th, and that will continue, I believe, until Labor Day as our usual, but we'll see how the summer goes. We also have a very important announcement from our music director, Tad Coriath, and from choir member Cameron Wise. As you well know, singing together in real space and time is pretty much impossible these days. Churches, choirs, and music ensembles across the world are still finding ways to make music together, and one of the most popular is the virtual choir. We'd love to try this here at Boulder Valley UU, and we need your help to make it happen. This is open to all members of the fellowship, so keep your eyes peeled for an email from Tad and Cameron in the next few days, which will give detailed instructions on how you can record a video of yourself singing one of our congregation's favorite songs. Sheet music and recordings will be sent out to you, so don't worry. All the videos we receive will be digitally assembled into a congregational choir video, which will be debuted at our Music Sunday service on May 31st, 3 weeks from today. Thanks in advance for all of your help, and be on the lookout for that email. Now, without further ado, it is time to light our chalice. Reverend Lydia.
If you have a chalice at home, please light it with me. And so we know where all of our lit chalices are, please write in the chat, chalice lit in, and just the name of your town. And I invite you to say the words along with me for our chalice lighting. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, the light of truth, and the energy of action. And I now invite you to center yourselves again with the sound of the second bowl. And now let's all join in singing Blue Boat Home.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known, the wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens and our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, feel the great winds urging me on, breathe the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known, the wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat
As I was beginning to write this, it was easy to slip into a laundry list of different ways I have been involved at the fellowship. From a variety of roles at summer camp to coming of age, I have done a lot. But today I want to highlight my relationships with all of you. One of my first memories of the fellowship is selling Girl Scout cookies on Sunday morning. I can recall weaving in and out of the sea of legs with my clipboard, wearing my badge-covered vest. People at the fellowship were some of my best, most dependable customers. Sheila Brown was one of the most enthusiastic and was always a sure bet for some Thin Mints, sometimes multiple weeks in a row. I remember sitting outside under the trees as a wide-eyed camper during summer camp, taking in all of the new friends and ideas. I would later sit under that same tree as a counselor in training and then a counselor, leading a new generation of wide-eyed campers through the daily activities. It was under the direction of Katie Covey, then Rachel Setsky, and finally Clara Kelly that I learned what makes a good camp counselor and how to be successful in the role. As I prepared to enter high school, I remember staying up late at coming of age retreats, playing BS, eating popcorn, and laughing. Laura McCollum was quite surprised when she heard giggling coming from the loft at 1 o'clock in the morning. The bonds I formed there were my first taste of what was to come once I entered the high school youth community. All of these different fellowship experiences were a springboard into the larger district youth community and provided me with the confidence and spiritual strength to become a leader there. Although there have been a number of adult advisors who have helped me in this journey to leadership, none have been more significant than Jessica, who I first met at Middle School Spirit Quest and who has been the adult lead for the pastoral care position I hold. Through all of my fellowship memories, Alaric and Talia have been a constant. We have reached all of the big UU milestones together, and there is no one I would rather be bridging with today. I have so much gratitude to both of you, and I love you so much. I'm so grateful for the fellowship and all of the different people who have played roles in my time here. You have provided me an essential home base as I explored my values and discovered what it means to be a UU. I don't know what the future holds, especially now, but I know that the fellowship and Unitarian Universalism will always be there to hold me and give me strength and comfort when I need it. Thank you.
I would now like to share with you all a short story from the Sufi tradition. Once upon a time, a stream, from its course in far-off mountains, passing through every kind of countryside, at last reached the sands of the desert. Just as it had crossed every other barrier, the stream tried to flow across the sand, yet as fast as it ran into the sand, its waters disappeared. It was convinced its destiny was to cross the desert, and yet there appeared to be no way. And then it heard a murmuring from the desert itself, a whisper. The wind can cross the desert, and so can the stream. The stream replied that it was flowing into the sand and only being swallowed, that the wind could fly, and that this was why it could cross the desert. By trusting in your usual methods, you will never get across. You will either disappear or become a quagmire. You must allow the wind to carry you to your destination. But how is this possible? The stream asked. Ah, by allowing yourself to be absorbed in the wind, came the answer. This idea was not acceptable to the stream. It had never been absorbed before. It did not want to lose its individuality because if it lost it, would it be able to get it back? The wind, said the sand, performs this function. It takes up the water, carries it over to the desert, then lets it fall again. Falling as rain, the water becomes a river once more. But can I not remain the same stream I am today? You cannot remain so, the whisper said. Your essential part is carried away and forms a stream again. You only think you are what you are now because you have forgotten the essential part of yourself. When it heard this, certain echoes began to arise in the thoughts of the stream. It vaguely remembered a state in which it, or some part of it, had been held in the arms of the wind. It also felt that somehow this was the right thing to do, even if it didn't seem to make any sense at all. So, with yet some hesitation, the stream raised itself into the welcoming arms of the wind, which gently and easily bore it upward and along, letting it fall softly on the roof of a mountain many, many miles away. And because the stream's doubts were so strong, its memory of the experience was strong as well, and it would remain with it for the rest of its journey, to the ocean and beyond. Yes, of course, it said, as if waking from a dream. Now I know who I am. As we move into our offering, we invite you to think of something you've had to let go of in order to transform or to meet a goal. After Reverend Lydia introduces our half-plate recipient, this week you will have an opportunity to share your reflections in the chat.
Well, I'm already crying quite a bit this morning. And I'm just so grateful for all of our staff and for our youth for creating this beautiful service. We have a congregation that is so full of generosity and abundance. And each week we remind ourselves of the abundance and the gifts of our life by giving half of our plate away to those organizations who share our values. Today we will focus on the UU principles of justice, equity, and compassion in human relations as we offer our plate to the Boulder County Sanctuary Coalition. The fellowship has supported immigrants through its involvement with both the Denver and the Boulder County Sanctuary Coalitions. In December of 2017, Ingrid Encalada La Torre and her two boys, Bryant, 11, and Anibal, 4, entered sanctuary at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Boulder. Elizabeth, now 7 months old, joined the family at UUCB and brings joy to all who have had the chance to meet her. Many volunteers from different faith communities have enjoyed their relationship with Ingrid and her family. While in sanctuary, Ingrid has been an advocate for immigrant justice through her involvement in the Women's Resolution, which asks members of Congress and the U.S. Senate to change unfair immigration laws. She's also created her own campaign called No Mas Chuecos, which educates people about the consequences of using false identification, including the harm done to both parties. And she is one of those people who, as a young adult, used a fake identification, which is a rampant practice, and which led her to the felony, which has been pardoned by the governor. So now it opens the door for her to work with her attorney to have her case reopened so she can leave sanctuary without threat of deportation and return to a normal life. Ingrid is one of hundreds of thousands of immigrants caught up in a cruel system that dehumanizes people, separates families, and in the case of those in detention centers, fails to care for their basic human needs. It's only gotten worse with the coronavirus. By choosing sanctuary, Ingrid and others around the country are shining a light to these injustices, as well as doing everything in their power to keep their families together. Over the course of these past years that Ingrid has been in sanctuary, our youth have had many, many meetings at the UU Church of Boulder where Ingrid is, and her presence has been one more learning opportunity about our principle of justice, equity, and compassion for our young people. I do invite you to text generously for Ingrid and the work of this congregation. And to reiterate Petra, during this time of our offering, I invite you to reflect upon the story of the water that she told and on Ingrid's life as you respond to the question in the chat. What is something you've had to let go of in order to transform or to meet a goal?
I am who I'm becoming. We are who we're becoming. We are all we have done. We are what we are dreaming. We've only just begun. We are who we're becoming. We are all we have done. We are what we are dreaming. We've only just begun.
For the work of the Boulder County Sanctuary Coalition and the work of this fellowship, I offer gratitude for all the acts of generosity that arise.
And now we sing.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Being a Unitarian Universalist has always been a very big part of my life, ever since I was very little, younger than 2 years old in fact. While I do not remember my first moments at a UU church, I was told by my mom that I always loved going to Sunday school. And while I can't be sure of this for a fact, given the welcoming nature that I have seen in the UU community, I believe that this is in fact the case. My family first moved to the Lafayette Fellowship when I was about 8 years old, and once again I felt welcomed into the community by not only the RE director at the time, Katie Covey, but by all the other youth and congregants at the church. And this feeling of being welcomed into the community has extended through the 10 or so years that I have been here. I remember trying to recall my favorite memories at this fellowship, but truthfully, I can't even begin to narrow it down. I remember watching and performing in the annual No Rehearsal Christmas pageants, the warmth of the community spreading around me like the warmth of the candles on my face at the yearly candlelight services. I remember climbing to the top of the tree during summer camp and running around playing tag with my friends after our walks to Wanaka Lake. I remember singing with the children in School of the Spirit before decorating flower pots to give to their parents. I remember sitting around playing BS at 12 o'clock at night during coming of age and going to my first ever high school con, staying up all night watching cheesy 90s horror movies. I'm so lucky to have had all of these wonderful moments here at the church and in my greater UU youth community, and with all the wonderful friends who have gone on this journey with me and who are bridging with me here today. I love you both so much. And of course, these are certainly not the only wonderful memories I have had in my time here, and I am sure that they will not be the last. Growing up being a Unitarian Universalist has helped me discover my values and interests, and has made me realize that I will always have a place in the UU community where I can feel welcomed.
Thank you so much, Alaric. Again, tears are coming to my eyes as all those memories of you in those trees and at camp and all those places come to my mind as well. This is our time for community connection. It's our time of sacred sharing. Don will remind you how to let us know if you'd like to share during our joys and concerns. And when you do, whether it is by voice or by chat, please tell us your name and where you live, and then briefly let us know what is in your heart today. And then I will place a stone into our sacred waters on your behalf. And today I begin with a prayer for all the mothers by Reverend Linda Susan Ulrich. For all the mothers and mother figures, the grandmothers, aunts, and extended family members who mother, the soon-to-be mothers, the wish they were mothers, the never wanted to be mothers, and the it's complicated mothers. For birth mothers, foster mothers, adoptive mothers, and stepmothers, the used to be dad mothers, and the more than one mom mothers, the single mothers, separated mothers, stay-at-home mothers, unhoused mothers, the grieving mothers, those who grieve their mothers, and those whose grief is complex. For all the communities that mother, and for all who depend on the Great Mother, you are held and you are beloved. And by our gathering here today, even virtually, may we all know that we are held by an embrace of love grander than any of us could ever imagine, and that indeed we are all beloved. Blessed be.
My earliest distinct memories of the fellowship are of my first summer camp, led by Katie Covey at the time. I don't think I said more than 2 words the entire week, but my counselors stuck with me. The next year, I opened up a bit more as I recognized more people from both the last camp and from a year of RE. 4 years later, I became a counselor in training, and 3 years after that, a counselor. I learned how to take care of myself and others, how to work with people who were complete opposites to me, and how to be a successful leader. From that experience, I entered leadership in the wider UU youth community with the knowledge of how to effectively connect with people. In the fellowship, I took on more activities in babysitting and youth group. My experience was probably different than a lot of other youth. I've seen a lot of the behind the scenes of what goes into making Sunday morning possible, and there's definitely been some weird dynamics with staff working with me who also work for my mom, but I'm deeply appreciative of everything I've learned from this community. For as long as I can remember, Morgan and Alaric have been part of every experience with the fellowship. In 7th grade OWL, we got a giant condom balloon stuck to the ceiling of my mom's office. In coming of age, we gambled Altoids and played BS for as long as we were allowed. We've been through some very outdated OWL programs, been part of starting up several different youth groups, and had so many conversations that move between deep and completely random with the blink of an eye. I'm so grateful for both of you, and I'm so proud to be bridging with you both today. The fellowship has introduced me to UU values, helped me explore my own interests, and has allowed me to combine the two. I don't know where I'll end up, especially now, but I know that I wouldn't be the person that I am today without Unitarian Universalism, and that I will always have a home here. Thank you.
So here we are. The time has come to honor the transition of our graduating seniors, Morgan, Talia, and Alaric, from members of our youth community to that of young adults. Unitarian Universalists recognize that the transition from youth to young adulthood is a moment to be celebrated, a process to be supported, and requires a lifelong commitment from all of us. We use the term bridging to refer to both the ritual used to honor this transition and the process of leaving youth community and finding one's place in the young adult one. Bridging ceremonies have been used in various UU congregations, districts, and at our National General Assembly since 1996. And they nearly always involve the graduating youth gathering at the front of the sanctuary and being invited to cross a metaphorical or sometimes even physical bridge, and then being welcomed on the other side by the open arms of their local young adult community. And yet, here we are, gathered together in spirit, perhaps in Brady Bunch style boxes on our screens, in the midst of a global pandemic, doing our best to adapt a ritual which is so special and deeply meaningful to many of us with the resources that we have available. So instead of trying to recreate a virtual replica of how bridging usually looks, we decided to throw out the old playbook and instead go with the spirit of the ritual. That is to say that this is a celebration and a send-off. And since the beauty of being virtual is that location no longer matters, we thought we'd reach out to a few folks who've been a part of your journeys along the way so that they could share a few words with you.
Hey, Morgan, Talia, and Alaric. I just want to wish you a wonderful bridging ceremony. I am so deeply appreciative. The Pacific Western Region and Mountain Desert District are so appreciative of the gifts that you brought to our community, both as leaders and as human beings. And I hope you know that Unitarian Universalism will be your religious and spiritual home forever. You're always welcome here. Reach out if you need anything. And have a wonderful bridging.
Talia, Alaric, and Morgan, you have been such a wonderful part of our congregation. I'm so glad I've gotten to know you through day camp and other events and activities. I wish you the best of luck in your next adventures, and I really look forward to catching up with you when you come home to visit us.
Alaric, you are so generous and passionate, and you just have such this beautiful commitment to showing up and building connections with other people. And I know that strength will carry you far in this world.
I'd say I know that you're going to do great things in the future and with your life, but I know for a fact that you've already done great things. So I just wanted to let you know that I'm proud of you, and I wish you the best of luck bridging and going forth.
Talia, Alaric, Morgan, we say with much joy that the service each of you offered, and I'm sure continue to offer, to our fellowship was nothing short of invaluable. You brought positivity, light, and humor to any environment you might be found in. From OWL to camp to Spirit Jam and beyond, we ever and always appreciated the insights and temperance you consistently expressed.
Talia, you have so much wisdom and this tremendous capacity for deep listening and presence with other people. And I so admire your insight and the confidence that you have to follow your own path.
Congratulations, Bridgers. I know you'll go on to do great things, and it's been so great to work with you.
Hi, you all. I hear you're bridging, and that's super cool and scary, and I hope you guys are excited and pumped because adulthood is exciting and scary, and you're gonna kick it. You're some great individuals, and I can't wait to see who you become.
Just as well. Through such service, we might say that we found we three to be bound together, not by blood, but by bond. Truly, each of you has confronted adversity and yet have maintained a sense of resiliency and strength. It is our great hope that you not forget these lessons, nor this time with one another. For time shall change much, and that each of you continues to strive for a more beautiful, more valiant world for yourselves and for others is indeed our hope. May you be well, my Celestia. May you be well.
And Morgan, you are so incredibly hardworking and resilient. You are just such a compassionate and righteous young person. And it's been really cool to see you grow into this beautiful leadership that really reflects your quiet strength and your desire for radical inclusivity.
You guys are pretty amazing. Thank you so much for everything you've done. I'm gonna miss you so much, but good luck.
Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your community these past few years. I feel truly blessed to have gotten to know you, and I'm grateful for the experience.
I know all three of you have just such special gifts, and I am hopeful for a world that you are building.
One of the greatest delights of my career as a religious educator since 1983 is to see my UU children grow up and take their place in the grown-up world. Alaric, Morgan, and Talia, you are among that cohort now. May you all keep that special part of you which makes you, you.
And of course, these are just a small sample. You must know that this group of us who are so proud of you is exponentially bigger than any video we could ever create. Now, this is the part of the service where we would normally have a responsive reading, but those don't work on Zoom. So again, we decided to get creative, and we'll see how well my video editing skills have paid off. So here is adapted from Beyond Borders by Rick Hoyt.
Go forth, because we are always going forth from somewhere. Going from our homes, our childhoods, going from our cities and countries.
Going from innocence to experience to enlightenment.
Going into the desert, getting to the other side.
Go forth. Leave behind the comfort and community of one place. Head into the anxiety and loneliness of another.
Carry with you the love and laughter of this place, and let it light your way.
Carry with you the wisdom you learned and the good memories. May they give you strength for your journey.
And when you have been away long enough, far enough,
Done what you set off to do.
Been there so long, that place too starts to feel like home.
Come back. Come back to the one, universal, everywhere and everyone and everyone inclusive home. This beloved community of all creation that you can never really leave.
There it is. And now we come to our last piece. It is time to pass the torch and welcome in the newest members of our youth community. The following youth have participated in our fellowship programs during their lives: Liliana Setsky, Aaron Ortega, Cedar Moriarty, Tatum Kowalczyk, Zoe Wiley, and Angelo Ferrante Roseberry. They will all be going into 9th grade next year. And of course, we welcome all rising 9th graders to join our youth group, as well as high schoolers of any age who may have only just now found us. Any of you who are present, please go to the participants window and use the raise hand feature to raise your hand now so that our tech ushers can identify you.
In the fall, you will become part of our high school youth group, and I know that the remaining youth are looking forward to welcoming you into this community with open arms. As you cross this symbolic bridge into the youth community, we want to ask both you and our remaining youth to acknowledge your intent to join in beloved community together.
Monet and Petra, on behalf of the Boulder Area UU Youth Group, do you promise to accept these rising 9th graders as they are, to offer them kindness, friendship, support, and guidance when needed?
We do.
We do.
We do. Now, Liliana, Aaron, Tatum, Cedar, Zoe, and Angelo, and any other new youth who wish to participate. Please make sure your hand is raised using the feature in the participants window so our tech usher can unmute you now. If you agree with the following question, please say, "I will." Will you bring your full and authentic selves into this community and dedicate yourselves to it with honesty, respect, and love?
I will.
I will.
I will.
I forgot to unmute. I'm going to start again. Thank you all. And with these commitments, the torch is passed to the next generation of youth. Morgan, Talia, and Alaric, thank you for the leadership and commitment you've shown to this youth community. You will be missed by many. Now, there is one tradition that I just couldn't let go of, and that is your Bridger's gift. Of course, I still have them, but you will. I will get them in the mail to you. But our gift to you is this book of readings. We hope that you will use it to find your own path, but always remember the love and faith of this community, which are represented in it. They are there for you whenever you need them. One of the most important things the religious life does is to help us hold both the joys and sorrows of life, its beauty and its challenges. My hope is that this faith community has given each of you the space and support needed to bring you this far on your journey, and that it has helped you lay in store the spiritual tools you will need for the challenges of young adulthood that lie ahead. My wish and hope for you is that no matter where you are in the next few years, you will find a Unitarian Universalist faith community to hold and nurture you and help you discover the ways in which you are called to make the world a better place. In the words of my childhood minister, go in peace, walk softly on your path, and may love shine on you all the days of your life. And now that they've been welcomed into their new youth community, Erin Ortega and Liliana Setsky will share our closing words.
If you are who you were, and the person next to you is who they were, if none of us has changed since the day we came here, we have failed.
The purpose of this community, of any church, temple, zendo, mosque, is to help its people grow.
We do this through encounters with the unknown,
in ourselves, in one another,
in the other, whoever that might be for us, however hard that might be, because these encounters have many gifts to offer. So may you go forth from here this morning, not who you were, but who you could be. So may we all.
Please join me in saying the words as we extinguish our chalice this morning. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, nor the energy of action. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. And now, as many of you know, if we were in our sanctuary together, or even in our borrowed sanctuary, as we have been doing, we would be making a tunnel for our bridging youth to walk through. Do you remember that, the tunnel? It's a ritual that I have had a very hard time letting go of this year. That tunnel where people put their arms together and starting with the bridgers, they go through that tunnel, through that place while we're singing Wo Ya Ya. It symbolizes the way that we usher them into a new phase of their life, but they're supported and nurtured by our UU community. And this time of life where they are not necessarily separate from us, but the tendrils have grown longer as they launch into young adulthood. So today we'll be sharing our traditional song, Wo Ya Ya, as we see a slideshow of our youth.
We are going heaven
Thank you, everyone. That's it. I think Bill has some info for us for anyone who wants to stay for coffee hour. Thank you so much for joining us to honor our youth in this way.